See, this movie had potential. It had dinosaurs and Adam Driver, and somehow made both of them boring. How's it going, fellas cinephiles? This is Dominic from Film Overload, the channel where we talk about movies, pop culture, and everything in between. And today I am reviewing a movie that came out earlier this year and I did not see in theaters. And after seeing this film on one of my streaming services, I am kind of glad that I didn't. And that is the sci-fi thriller 65. Now, like I say in my intro, this movie actually had some really solid potential. I did notice that the writers for this film were the writers of movies like A Quiet Place, and I really love A Quiet Place. So I thought, hey, it's the writers from A Quiet Place. It can't be that bad, right? Not exactly. This film is not great, and unfortunately, the really interesting premise and the very interesting ideas just did not flow well at all. The execution was very poor. I can totally see where they were going with the story and the characters, but the execution of both story and character just really did not work well with me. The story of a man named Mills, who is one of two survivors of a spaceship crash which has landed on Earth, and he must defend off dinosaurs to reach a vessel before time runs out. Again, the premise is very interesting. I really did enjoy the sci-fi elements of this film, but like I said previously, the execution of both the story and the character was just not there. It's a very ambitious film, but I don't think it was handled very well. The writing I thought was just a little bit off, and it just did not flow well at all. And like I mentioned, the writers from A Quiet Place wrote this film, and I love A Quiet Place, and my hopes were very high for this movie, and unfortunately they just got knocked down completely by this movie, and it just did not work. There was just things in there that just don't make sense. They feel very rushed. They feel very forced as well. The characters were not very well developed, in my opinion. Yes, we did get the gist of who Mills is as a character and his ultimate goal, but it just felt like he wasn't really crafted to his fullest potential, which overall really hurt the film in the long run. Speaking of Mills, Mills is played by Adam Driver, Academy Award nominee, etc., etc. Adam tries with all of his might to try and make his character and the story interesting, and I just feel really bad for him because it's literally just him the entire film, just like kicking and screaming and like shouting, and his character was just not written very well at all. I don't think it was Adam's fault per se for this film, just the way his character was written was just really, really awful. And again, I really did understand his main goal. The character's main goal was to ultimately help his family, and things just go haywire. So I can see where that built up emotion would come from out of the character. But for me, it was just a bit over the top here and there. I just didn't really care for the character. There was nothing really in this movie that really made me want to root for Adam Driver's character, which is a shame because I think that this movie had great potential and his character as well. Now, moving on to the other character in this movie that is very prominent, and that was the character of Koa. I forgot the name of the actress. She was good. She was fine. But once again, like Adam Driver's character, she was just kind of thrown in there to be thrown in there. There was nothing really to her. There wasn't much to her, I personally thought. I thought she was interesting, and she played next to Adam Driver very well, I thought, like acting-wise, but just the character in general was just not there. And that was really the biggest gripe I had with this film, was that the characters were just not very well developed, and I thought that it really hurt both of them and the overall film in the long run. However, if there was one saving grace to this really messy film, that was the actually really solid CGI. The dinosaurs were all CGI, obviously, But they were really realistic, and I really appreciated that because in a lot of movies, the CGI animals they just don't look very good, but these dinosaurs looked very realistic, which I appreciated a lot. They supply a lot of the film's scares and jump scares and thrills and chills, and I thought that they looked really good. So shout outs to the CGI team because they did a really good job at making the dinosaurs feel really alive. Overall, 65 is not a good movie, which is unfortunate because I really love A Quiet Place, and coming from the writers of that movie, I had really high hopes for this film, and it just did not meet my expectations at all. There's some hidden potential in this movie, don't get me wrong, but once again, the execution of both the story and the main characters was just not there. So that's it. And guys, if you liked this review and want to see more forms of content like it, don't be shy and hit that like button. Also hit subscribe while you're at it and turn on the post notifications so that you guys can get notified every single time I post a video. You can follow me on Letterboxd, which is right here. I post all of my movie reviews on Letterboxd as it helps me keep track of movies that I have watched, movies that I haven't watched, and movies that I will watch. And I think you guys would benefit greatly from this app and this website if you are indeed lovers of cinema like myself. As always, guys, happy movie watching. Take care.